This episode of the Cult Popture podcast was brought to you by our Patreon.
If you want to tell us which films we should watch, get up to 2 extra exclusive podcasts a month, give us something to talk about in the post-credit scenes at the end of each episode, or even contribute to the discussion in the episode itself, then please consider joining the cult and donating at www.patreon.com/cultpopture. The stars are out. The red carpet, figuratively, is on the ground as we all step out of our limousines into the fun, familiar world of the annual self-indulgent film franchise Fortnight's trivia quiz. Welcome along, new listeners and old. New listeners, see you later. But old listeners, you're in for a treat. My name is AJ, which if you're an old listener, you'll already know. One of the hosts of Film Franchise Fortnights on the Cult Popture podcast. I'm always joined by Richard Martin.
Hello, frankly, it's an honor just to be nominated.
Exactly, and we've also got here Jeremy and Jess. Hey, Jeremy and Jess.
Hey, guys.
Hello, I am also here.
Yes, so if you think of Richard and I as if we are the actors in contention for Best Actor, and Jeremy and Jess are sort of like the Chris Rock of the Oscars kind of thing. Maybe the Chris Rock and the Will Smith, depending on how spicy.
Oh, okay.
No, the Chris Rock as the host, not Chris Rock as the presenter who gets slapped, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Jess is not the Will Smith who slapped. She's the Will Smith who
rapped.
Just wasn't invited most of the time.
Jess isn't the Will Smith who slapped.
God.
She's the Will Smith who slaps. Yeah.
Oh.
There we go. Well, now that we've got that admin out of the way, welcome along to, what edition is this?
This is the fourth edition of the self-indulgent quiz. It's been 4 years since COVID. That's not true.
Thank God.
Because the first one was in year 0 of COVID. So it's been 3 years. And also, we're still living with COVID. So, AJ, you maybe have COVID right now.
I could have COVID as we speak. Yeah, so basically what this is once a year. Well, we did it that 1 year because we were in lockdown and everyone was crazy. And we couldn't be bothered thinking of an episode concept. So we were like, Jeremy, you do it. And what it is basically we in podcasting, especially when you're a small potatoes podcast, it's generally best to stick away from anything that's too inside baseball toward your own show or your own life even. We call these inside jokes and they're bad for new listeners. But despite that, we seemed so tempted to make them every single episode that once a year we blow off a little steam. We make an episode that is solely for you guys, the listeners who have been listening for a while. And it's basically several rounds of a quiz that me and Richard are going to compete against each other in, and the questions pertain to stuff that's happened on the podcast or about each of our lives.
It's a memory quiz in a lot of ways.
Oh my God, this explanation is too much. Just whatever.
And Jeremy, you might be like, what is a quiz?
People are going to read the title of this and they're going to understand what the hell it is. Like it's like when I try to over-engineer the explanation of the Who Loves Who the Most round. It's just like, just listen, you'll get it.
So, yeah, right. Okay,
every time we have Jeremy on, he seems intent on creating as little content as possible.
That's because this podcast always goes for 3 fucking hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we don't need to be making editorial decisions live on pod. Thank you, producers.
That's literally the vibe of this pod all the time.
Look, basically, 3 years ago, 3 years or 4 years, I'm confused now, but some time ago, we did a really funny episode, and each year we've tried to recapture that fire. Will we succeed this year? Let's begin and find out.
Let's begin the mercurial pursuit.
Ooh.
All right, as the quiz host, I shall take over proceedings now, and reduce AJ back down to the mere participant that he will be for the rest of this time.
Oh my God, get on with it, Jeremy. No one gives a shit.
Holy freak.
First of all, as always, thanks must go out to all of the Discord participants in the quiz thread. You guys are incredible as always, and just the only thing I'm gutted about is that there's just so many incredible questions we can't actually include them all. There's also some real shit questions, but I'm not going to mention them by name. But just know that some of them were terrible. All right.
Let's mention the terrible ones.
We'll mention them
Bonus
as we
round.
get to them.
They are not. No, I won't say they're not in here because there's actually a lot of good ones that didn't make it either. So don't want anyone
It'd
to
be
be
a good Patreon bonus episode to do the rejected questions and discuss why they were bad.
So
Oh
personal.
man! Speaking of inside baseball, honestly, I think that like the Discord like quiz questions, if you look at them every year, they get closer and closer to just like a full Ouroboros. Where like we're about like this year we started asking questions about what happened in the first quiz, and so
Yes.
It's like once a year we get to break free, and instead of not doing all the don'ts of podcasting, it's like let's do all the don'ts for a change.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Jeremy just coughed. Like, that's a big one.
Yeah, well, I know that.
I probably edited.
I know that
it.
AJ's just going to edit out all my. Sorry, I have a really bad cough at the moment, so AJ's going to have a bit more editing.
Well, good
to
thing
do
I
this time.
poured you a glass of water.
Whoop whoop.
Next year, the question will be, what was wrong with Jeremy on the last quiz? And we'll have to remember right now is because he was coughing.
And it will be the Jeremy Vargo Memorial Quiz.
Oh,
What was wrong with Jeremy?
We've had you announce your various children's conception on this podcast over the years. Are you now announcing your imminent death? Because that would be as exciting.
Possibly. Let's find. The only way to find out is to tune in next year. There we go. There's like the world's
listening.
longest runway. All right. So the first thing we have to do before we get to round one.
Oh.
We have rounds. You'll get to them. I'm not going to explain them. First thing we have to do is for AJ and Richard, as always, to choose their buzzer. So Richard, this year you go first. What is going to be your buzzer?
My buzzer is going to be Scoob.
Great, love it.
Classy.
And AJ,
I'm not committing myself to doing the voice every time.
Oh.
All right. Well, I've been thinking all day about what my buzzer should be, and I thought of a few examples which would be more funny than they would be helpful. But going off Richard's buzzer, I think it's only appropriate that my buzzer should be Raggy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That is the first time I've wholeheartedly approved of both of your buzzers. Thank you. All right.
However, it might just be Raggy as we get further deeper into the quiz.
I have a feeling that both of you will just completely give up the ghost on impressions. All right. Well, round one. Here we go. By the way, the first year, these rounds are just sort of random questions. Were called the quick fire round, and I only gave you 3 seconds to answer them. And after 3 seconds, I just cut off. And I haven't returned to that. I'm not going to.
Good,
either,
because
so
it's not fun.
It's not fun, man. Okay. Question 1. Film franchise Fortnights has covered 2 films in which Britney Spears is killed with her killer then saying, "Oops, I did it again." What are these 2 films?
What? I didn't know that.
Is there
Okay.
is there a half a point for one of them?
You can get 1 point each.
Scoob.
Yeah, Richard. I love that you're like immediately dispensing with the voice, not even like gradually getting rid of it.
Is it Austin Powers and Goldmember?
Yes, that is one of them. Do you have
Raggy?
No.
On the board.
Richard gets to guess both of them
Oh, yeah.
first, and if he doesn't get one, then you get a chance to get the other one.
Okay.
All right.
Where have we seen Britney Spears?
Okay, I'm gonna 5, 4, 3, 2,
Okay,
1.
well,
Okay, AJ, do you have a guess?
I would hazard a guess it would be in a scary movie.
No.
No.
It was in Seed of Chucky, where Chucky forces Britney's car off the road on his way to John Waters' house.
Okay.
And
All right.
yes,
So Jess,
did
as
we mention that
scorekeeper-
Jess is keeping score?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what
sorry.
I was-
Yes.
I
Oh my
was-
goodness.
Man.
I've spent the last 2 days listening back to all of the previous quizzes, and so just so firmly entrenched in my mind that of course everyone knows that Jess does the score. But yes, Jess is a wonderful score woman.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thank you,
yeah,
Jess.
I'm here. I'm reliable. I'm keeping count.
Can we
It's
just get an
happening.
update on the scores to start with?
Yeah, please. I need it too.
Just a little recap. 1 for Richard, 0 for AJ.
Okay, let's check back in with you after
Cool.
this
And
next
Jess,
round.
if you could just give yourself
This
a
next
sneaky
question.
couple of points just for being so patient with me as a terrible host.
Thanks so much. How about I pick up any spare points that go awry?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
crumbs
I
off the
reckon
table.
Jess
very
has
good.
got this one.
Yeah,
I reckon we've already decided Jess has won this year's quiz.
perfect. All right, question 2. In which film that you have covered for Film Franchise Fortnights was a horse orgasm notably used by Foley artists?
Jesus.
Raggy.
AJ?
Godzilla.
No.
I thought maybe the Screonk could have been find its oral
Scoob.
base in a horse
Forever
orgasm.
ruin Godzilla for everyone.
I'm going to say Live and Let Die.
No. It was Lord of the Rings Return of the King. It was the sound of a Mumakil dying.
Ah,
Wow.
Yeah, so Weta Workshops, mate. They're
they're jacking off
Oh no,
horses.
that wouldn't be Weta. Would Weta do the Foley? Who knows?
Yeah,
they
mate.
do everything.
Of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
everything. Richard, mate. Right, he'll get in there. All right. Question 3.
Richard Taylor,
what
you're talking
does
about?
Wally stand for?
I interviewed him a couple of days ago.
Wally?
Name
Scoob.
drop.
Like you're talking and yet you still had the time to give the answer. Yes, Richard, you buzzed in.
Waste allocation load lifter Earth class.
Boom! There it is.
I
Very
don't
good.
think I've ever known that. I thought these were in-joke questions. I thought these were like, what did AJ say when he fucking threw up on podcast? Like, that's what I was reading for. This is the research I've been doing.
Don't worry, AJ. We're going to get there. All right.
Wally? We haven't even covered
We did
Wally
on
on
GMP.
the podcast. That doesn't count. Surely Patreon episodes
GMP
don't
doesn't
count.
count for anything. All right, cool. Thanks for all the Patreons who pay for it. Cool. Number 4. What was the name of the photographer in Barbie: The Big Splash?
Oh, there was
Raggy.
This is the book we read.
Oh, AJ?
I'm going to go Philippe.
No. Richard?
Oh.
I was going to guess Philippe as well, but I'm going to say Fernando.
Why were you also going to guess Philippe?
You know, like neither of you could get this by guessing. The name is Scavula.
Oh, yes.
Oh, of course, Scavula.
These are-
Yes. All right, question 5.
starting to get I'm starting to get my hands on the caliber of question that we're dealing with tonight and feeling like, oh boy, I am woefully unprepared.
Yeah. Like as I was honestly, and I have cherry picked some of the easier questions from what the like. I messaged you both last night saying like, you are both screwed. Like the Discord hate you because they are giving you incredibly hard questions.
Well, I hope they feel good.
Yes. All right. Question 5. What is the name of the restaurant that Eddie Murphy works at in Coming to America?
Scoob.
Richard.
McDowell's.
Oh, very good. Yes. Question 6.
Because it's a parody of McDonald's.
Yeah.
Question 6. If we just leave aside the words or a and the, which letter of the alphabet is the first letter of the most movie titles covered by Film Franchise Fortnights?
Who's making
Yes!
these lists?
Yes! This is what we're here for. Raggy,
AJ.
let's go. M for
Wrong.
mouse.
Richard.
Oh, S.
Congratulations. It is S by quite a significant margin as well.
Why is that obvious?
Because
What am I
half of the
missing
movies
here?
are called Scooby-Doo.
Okay, that's probably good. No, some of them are called like Ahoy There, Scooby Doo.
But there's also like all the scary movies and screams and
Spider-Man.
all that and such forth.
I'm really annoyed that Richard figured it out because I was going to come back with a zinger of, hey, Jeremy, give me 12 to 26 more guesses. I think.
For a bonus point, Richard, because you answered that correctly, what is the letter that has never begun a film title that you've covered?
Well, it's got to be one of those like radical letters. I'm trying to cross a few off in my mind. We've done Quantum of Solace, so it's not Q. We've done X-Men.
Oh, we've done
Okay,
easy.
I'm going to give you a
We've
5
done-
for 3, 2, 1.
Z.
No. AJ, you want to go?
I'm going to guess J.
No. You.
Jumanji.
You.
I what?
You.
Oh,
Yeah.
I what?
you.
Haha.
What's the Z franchise?
Zathura. I corrected you, your J, by saying Jumanji, and my Z was wrong because of Zathura. No,
All
you
right,
fucking
question-
idiot. You forgot the Jumanji franchise.
Question 7. Which is the only Fast and Furious movie that does not contain the word family?
Scoob.
Movie.
Richard.
I would have to be Too Fast, Too Furious.
Boom! Correct. Very good.
Why would it have to? Is it because Vin Diesel's not in that? But he's not in Hobbs and Shaw either. Are we not counting Hobbs and
We're
Shaw?
not
Well,
counting.
but also
it's
there's
just-
a whole big thing with family where they go to Samoa in Hobbs and Shaw.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Number 8, last question for this round. Which franchise did Richard describe on pod as, quote, one of the darkest franchises we've covered?
Raggy.
AJ?
Let's go, Fred.
No. Richard, do you want to go?
No, I'm going to guess that I mean this very literally, and I'm trying to think of franchises that you can barely fucking see.
Oh, okay. I got another guess if Richard can't get it.
Fear Street.
No. AJ, do you want to guess, but there's no points in it?
Is it Alien?
No. It's The Land Before Time.
Because
Oh, wow.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Because Alien vs Predator 2
It's like
was
famously,
literally the
yeah.
darkest. Like you can't see what's happening in it.
Yeah, no, he meant darkest as in, emotionally or, thematically
Yeah.
dark.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Well, hey, look. I don't think we need another score update going into the next
No,
round. How
I
about
want to
we
hear
just,
from Jess.
No,
Yeah.
I want to hear from her too. But how are you, Jess? What's been happening today? We don't need to worry about the score.
I'm
just yet, I don't
so
think.
good. Thank you so much, AJ, for asking. And for pandering to me, you get 1 point.
Oh, what?
Yes.
It's
Wow.
that kind of a quiz, bitch.
Okay, well, how many do I get for proposing to you?
Don't answer
That's not
that.
part of the quiz.
Pub quiz,
Please,
hotshot. All right, Jess, can you actually give us an update on the scores, though?
Yes, I sure can. So the accurate scorings are in the lead, Richard on 5, trailing quite far behind, sorry, AJ, on 0.
why was trailing quite far behind necessary to put in there?
It's
could've
dramatic
just said-
tension.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what's it going to be? I was on the edge of my seat, Jess. Thank you. I actually think you did a really good job as scorekeeper there.
No points.
I reckon give him points.
This is going to be
Fuck it.
dire
I'm
by the end
doubling
of the night, I
down
can tell
on
you.
no points.
Well,
All right.
we've got five points in the kitty of points that haven't been taken. So maybe we'll have a potluck at the end of it and see whoever has the nicest compliments can score some extra points from the kitty.
Ooh, I like this new
All right.
suggestion, Jess. So Jess's discretionary points. Very
not to
nice.
be like, not to, I'm going to lose some, like complimentary points here, but there are only 3 points in the kitty. Oh, no, there was a couple of bonus ones, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've been
I'm
counting.
real
Are you-
free and
are you
easy with
questioning
bonus
me?
points.
Because that could be some negative points, Richard.
I reckon take off a point for mansplaining.
I have a very pretty
Yeah.
spreadsheet in front of me.
Take off 5. See if
Famously, I'm the guy who's good at math on this podcast.
Yeah, Richard, fuck you.
Okay. Jeremy, bonus round 1, thank you.
All right. Now we're on to round 1 of Who Loves Who the Most? Cue the theme. All right.
What was the theme again? Was it just the song?
Yeah, it's
but
just
you change it
song.
every time in different comedic ways.
Ah, yes, that is something I do on the show.
That's the best part.
Yeah, that's my main reason for listening back to them.
It's the only
Okay,
reason
well,
to listen.
I'll try and make this one really good, man.
Well, the first one has to be just the song.
The first one has to just be who loves who the most. You're right.
That is true. All right. AJ, question 1. If Richard could authentically have any accent other than his New Zealand accent, without being accused of appropriation, which accent would he like to adopt?
I reckon Richard would like to adopt an American accent.
Boom. Okay, no, that is incorrect. Richard, what accent would you like to adopt?
I put down that I would like an Irish accent.
All right. And Richard, same
The
question
language
for
of
you for
life.
AJ. What did AJ choose?
I'm going to say that AJ put Scottish.
Incorrect. He chose French. And both of you, total pussies, you still chose white person accents. I told you wouldn't be
I was
accused
so
of
tempted
appropriation.
to put Chinese.
We're pussies for not being racist.
That's
Thanks
not
for that
racist.
peer pressure.
I literally the realm of the question told you that you could not be accused of appropriation.
Your Honor, it wasn't racist. I, who made up the question, said that it isn't racist.
I invited
literally-
them to do a racism.
The question said you grew up there and no one would accuse. Like if you grew up in Japan, you would speak Japanese with a Japanese accent.
I'm just going to say it still feels like mighty shaky ground to be walking on.
like that, Jeremy. Like the thing is, if we'd done that, you would accuse us of being racist because we're being like, God, I wish I could do a Chinese accent, but the PC mob would just come after me. Thank God for Jeremy's question, putting that caveat.
You got me, guys. This entire quiz, the only reason I do this quiz is so that I can bait you into racism. All right. Question
That's it.
2, Richard. If AJ had to be a PA for any actor or actress, who would he have chosen to be a PA for them? Oh, that was so badly worded. I'm sorry. Who would he choose? Who would he choose?
AJ would choose to be a PA for Paul Mescal.
Incorrect. AJ chose Donald Trump.
I also
I just like his
misread
policies.
the question.
What is the context for that?
Sorry, you misread the question?
I thought it said, which famous person would you want to be your PA? And I was like, what a strange question. Like, who has an answer ready in the bank for this one?
I literally,
And I was like,
word for word, I will read out what the question you read was.
yeah, no, I don't doubt I misread
Which
it.
actor / actress would you choose to be a PA for?
Also,
So, I guess-
I want to
and-
like that. Okay, I didn't get the point, but in a question that's longer than a few words, I should have anticipated AJ misreading that.
I think what I was thinking was like if Donald Trump's my PA, that can put like this evil man in a subservient position, and I didn't really
Yeah,
get
but
the
instead you
question.
just want to do his bidding.
No, now I'm going to pivot.
No,
if
so the
I
thing
was
is,
his
like,
PA,
he tried to bait us into racism with the last question, and then he tried to just give you, which cool celebrity do you want to hang out with? And you picked the most racist
he
one.
didn't say cool. Here's what I'm doing. I'm going to be Donald Trump's PA, and I'm going to sabotage everything he wants. I'm going to be the worst PA in the world, but all behind the curtain, and then I'm going to film him on my phone and then post it on
He'll
TikTok.
fire you real quick. Anyway,
He is want to do that.
same question, but Richard actually read the question and answered it properly. Who would Richard choose to be the PA for?
See, what sucks about this is that I had worked out Richard's answer to the question I thought I was answering. And now it's not going to be that.
Wait, I'm
So
gonna write down an answer to the question you thought you were answering.
So which
I
actor
will-
or actress? Which famous person, Richard, would you like to be your PA?
Okay.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
If it's not off the top of his head, then I don't know if I've got it right.
I mean,
Okay, I've got one.
given how this quiz is going, AJ, I was not sure you got it right regardless.
Yeah. Okay, AJ, who do you guess for each answer?
Okay, so for who Richard would want to be a PA for, I'm gonna guess Donald Glover. And for who Richard would want as a PA, I thought Robert Rodriguez.
That's a
Because
that's a
he'd
good
be a
answer.
really-
That's better.
It's a good answer.
I wrote
right?
down Josh Hutcherson.
Robert Rodriguez, we talked about a
Yeah.
couple of times about how he's super skilled, and if you want anyone as a production assistant, you would get
Yeah,
Robert
no,
Rodriguez
that is a
opposed
good
to-
answer. It's a better answer than Josh Hutcherson from The Hunger Games. But I've often said that. Well, I had this conversation with my tutor at broadcasting school that I would rather work for Tarantino, but I would rather have Robert Rodriguez work for me.
And Richard's
It's a good
actual
answer, AJ.
Richard's actual answer is that he would like to be the PA for Olivia Colman.
Nice.
Aw.
Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like we've been doing this round of Who Loves Who the Most for about 15 minutes, but we've still got one more question. And in this one, the questions are somewhat more limited to reality. Richard, which film franchise Fortnight's podcast does AJ think is the best one that you've done?
I'm going to guess he said Scooby-Doo.
Incorrect. And AJ, which one do you think that Richard said?
I reckon Richard said Fred.
Points for AJ. Congratulations.
Yes! Yeah, baby! That's all I need!
On the board.
AJ actually gave 4 possible answers. He's just like, if he gives you either The Hobbit, God's Not Dead, The Kissing Booth, or Fred, he'll be right.
Damn.
Yeah, so you had...
I was very close to putting...
Sorry, man.
I was tossing up between God's Not Dead and Fred for my answer for what I
But
put.
another one just came through the middle.
I didn't think you would say God's Not Dead, Richard, because the feedback for that episode was mostly in praise of my work on the episode. While on Fred, I feel like you got the lion's share of like, Richard was great on the Fred episode. So I was like, he'll have picked Fred and not God's Not Dead. 2 episodes which were next to each other, by the way.
Yeah.
Probably the strongest double episode we've ever done of the show, I reckon.
I should probably listen to both of them. Anyway, Jess, can you give us an update on the points, please?
Sure can. So, AJ, now strongly on the board at 1 point. Very well done, AJ.
Wow.
And Richard, not super
Strong.
far ahead, on a disappointing 5.
Did
Damn.
Richard not get any
Oh,
in
that
that
5
round?
was
Oh, no,
a
he didn't.
commanding lead
Richard didn't
mere
get
moments ago.
Richard didn't get any of those last ones.
And what?
That's just life, Richard. You go from a commanding lead to disappointingly little in just one round.
I feel like when Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, when they got a disappointing 5-minute standing ovation.
And Jess, can you give us an update on how many points have dropped to the floor? What's the floor points?
Sure. We now have 7. 7 on the floor points.
Floor's winning.
Well,
The
yes.
floor
No, I'm making
has
that
got a
decision.
commanding lead.
Can't wait to see how these are reallocated. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Round 2, let's get going. Question 1. Oh, just a reminder of the buzzers, please. AJ?
Raggy?
Very good. And Richard?
Scoob!
See, that's good. I like doing that. That's good. All right, round 2. During which film franchise Fortnight's podcast did Richard break the news that James Gunn had been fired from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
That's not how I remember this happening, but okay. I'm going to go Raggy. I'm going to say
AJ?
it was, what year? I remember the house I was in when this
5,
happened, so
4,
therefore I remember.
3.
Let's
2.
go Ear Buddies.
Oh my gosh! Amazing!
Yes?
It is! It is Ear Buddies!
Oh, great!
Wow.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't be so surprised when you get a correct answer, but like I think that
I was surprised.
yeah, that one in particular was it's good. I was very much
Well,
hitting-
especially because I could have just as easily had said earbud or Santa pups,
Exactly.
you know, but I knew it was somewhere in there.
yeah. Very good. All right. Question 2. What is the first letter of the names of both of the titular bad boys?
Sorry, we just need the first letter of their names.
Yes.
Raggy.
AJ?
I'm gonna go M
Congratulations.
and
Oh no, M. It's the
is
one answer for both names. It's Mike and Marcus.
yeah, okay,
Oh,
yeah, I knew one
Mike
was
Lowry.
Mike Lowry. Yeah, there was a whole question in there about how many times Mike Lowry gets said in Bad Boys.
I was about to say they say his name all the fucking time.
Yeah. It's I need to make a letterbox list for movies where the main character's name is said a weird amount of times
Yeah.
because
Well,
Night of the
Mike
Museum.
Lowry and Larry Daly.
Yeah, Larry Daly and Night of the Museum is such a random name to have stuck in your head.
and Mike
Because it's said all
Wazowski
the
as
time.
well.
Let's give him.
There you
The
go.
that list, AJ, has a head start on it because someone in the Discord has actually gone through and counted the number of times that Mike Lowry has said.
Why?
Who-
Do you have who's done
Who
that?
was this person?
Hold on, I can find out. Oh, Boris Clitoris.
Nice.
Yeah.
Almighty
Thank you,
Watcher.
Boris Clitoris.
Now the Magnolia Bufferer, actually. But yes, I have to say, in terms of the lion's share, especially at the very beginning, the Almighty Watcher / the Magnolia Buffer really came through hard with probably almost 100 questions.
Fuck.
Wow.
What a nerd.
Also,
More like the almighty asker.
yeah, they were the one behind the number of times, the number of
Nice.
films that had started with the letter S and have a full rundown of every single letter of the alphabet.
What I like about questions like that is, to me, that's the heart of Cult Popture.
Yeah.
Is like meaningless stats to do, like the whole like
Which Jeremy made us stop doing.
it's the like stuff that makes up a movie as opposed to the movie itself. I think is a good brand for
Or like
us.
that one review said that it's like, if you want an overview of the IMDb page of a movie and not the movie itself, that very harsh 2-star review we got.
All right, question 3.
Love
What does AJ apologize for at the beginning of the very first episode of the podcast?
Scoob?
When you say very first episode,
so did you say Scoob?
That's a loaded term.
Yeah, I said Scoob. I'm going to say the Echo.
No. AJ?
I feel like. Can I know what episode specifically this is about? Is this about?
It's the first one, the one that you and I did.
The most disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay, so something I apologized on that one.
Yeah, and I remember you saying it too.
be-
Like literally, I remember like looking at you while you were saying this. You're not
I
going
don't
to
know.
get it.
Did I say like we were too excited? Or it's been a long time since I've listened.
I've
No,
never
you
listened to
apologize. You apologize in advance for pencil scribblings that might be heard throughout the podcast.
Very
Wow.
cute.
Which is, can I just say, technologically, a long time ago. Like, when was the last time that you like didn't have a computer in front of you with your notes
Or a pen.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, question 4. In describing the tonal shift in the Medea films, AJ likens them to a cross between which two movies?
Ooh.
Fuck.
The eyebrows on you right now, AJ, is amazing.
No, I just know I'm going to hear it again and be like, that was so astute. I'm so smart. How are people listening to this episode? This episode's been taken down. How are people getting that?
It has been?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about... I have a feeling we're going to be talking about this in a few weeks, so I'll save it for then. I would say it's a cross between... Like
Wait,
a
did you-
Hallmark movie.
Did you answer?
Scoob.
Did you buzz in?
Oh,
Yeah, okay. It's Richard.
wow, Richard
you
buzzed
buzzed
in
in.
just then.
I'm going to say it's
Go
a
for
cross between like a Hallmark movie. No, I would say
Wrong.
it's a cross between...
Oh, sorry. You were joking? All right, go ahead.
Yeah. Is it a cross between like Big Mama's House and is that one of them?
No.
Then I get
Oh.
But it's a point each, so you could get the other point if you were right. No, you don't care? All right, cool. AJ, do you want to have a go? I'll give you like
I mean, Big Mama's House is a great...
Scary
legit.
movie.
When I read this, I laughed out loud. I'd never heard the Medea episode before, but like the
Never
thought of
will.
you making this connection for that, like I laughed out loud.
Okay, so is it like VeggieTales and Crash or something
No.
like that?
The answer is you liken the Medea films to a cross between Moonlight and Hot Rod.
Who wrote this question? How has anyone heard this episode? It's been offline for like 2 years.
It's got to be Almighty again.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You don't even
It
need to check. I
was
have no doubt in my mind that is Almighty Watcher.
the person who currently has their name set to Medea or Medon't Talk to Me, which is Swag and Dragon Josh.
Okay. I don't know how he has listened to this episode. But a very funny observation from me. Glad it provided enjoyment all these years later.
Very
Might
good.
get to make
All right.
that observation again in a couple of weeks.
Question 5. Give me the age, so the answer will be an age. Give me the age that Richard said in the phrase, "When I was blank, no 16-year-old girl would kiss me."
Raggy.
Scoob.
AJ?
I'm going to go to try and make Richard sound as good as possible here. I'm going to say 10.
Incorrect. AJ? Richard?
Nah. What did you say? What episode it was in?
It was in the High School Musical film franchise follow-ups.
Okay, I think I remember the context of this.
No, there was no context.
I'm going to say 19.
Yes, it was 19.
Whoa. I was too nice.
Because the actors playing the main couple were 16 and 19, and you were positing whether or not it was all above board, and I joked that when I was 19, I couldn't get any 16.
This is a very Patreon heavy quiz this year.
Well,
I remember the first year we were like, all of these questions are from like the first year of the podcast, and now I'm like, okay, now we're going into Patreon. All right.
Each one has a theme.
there was a comment made quite early on in the quiz feed. All right, guys, I'm going to dive deep into the GMPs. To which I thought, oh god. All right, question 6. What is the only buzzer sound I have ever vetoed for Cult Popture quiz?
Braggy.
AJ?
Was it like a
No. No, Richard?
Scoob. I don't know if you vetoed this or just AJ vetoed it himself, but there was the
No, it was it was when AJ had chosen Buzz, Buzz, Buzz Lightyear to the rescue, and you decided to choose the phrase Buzz.
God, I'm so funny. Between that and the Medea thing, I'm feeling great about myself right now. I don't need
I think
these points.
what I did was funnier in that situation.
I don't know, man.
All right, very good. Question 7. What is the only film you have covered for Film Franchise Fortnights that contains a hashtag in the title?
Scoob.
Richard.
Bring it on. Worldwide hashtag cheer smack.
Boom! He's good. There is coming back.
I did know the answer as well, but I didn't raggy before Richard scoobed.
That does tend to be what happens in quizzes. Only one person gets in first.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, after 4 years, I'm getting a handle on it.
There is. I just do want to give credit. Who was someone? I can't remember who did that. That question. They actually went through and got every single non-letter and non-number title.
Nice.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Punctuation.
Symbol.
Got every single symbol in any title and listed them all out. So I was just like, "Wow, that's amazing." Anyway, so thank you very much. I think it might have been Paul Hill. Question 8. Complete the phrase that AJ said. Quote, "The existence of the word blank implies one can blank."
Okay. Raggy.
AJ?
The existence of the word deliver implies someone can remove your liver.
Incorrect, but also kind of cute.
Damn.
Richard, do you want to have a go?
Thank you.
The existence of the word disembowel implies that someone can embowel you.
No. And neither of those come up on the fly or thought about were as funny as what AJ came up on the fly with, which was the existence of the word blooper implies one can bloop.
That's cute. That's funny, you know?
Yeah.
I'm good.
So we'll just title this round 2, the AJ feels good about himself round.
All right.
There we go.
Now let's put an end to
It's
that
a
with
hu-
who loves who the most.
It's a wholesome pod, guys. All right, Jess, at the end of that round, can you give us the scores, please?
I sure can. So the gap is closing. So Richard is ahead with 7, AJ on 3.
My goodness.
Very similar gap. He's still
4. Literally the same
Just
gap.
one
4.
Trying to be
Less than what
positive,
he
mate.
was.
Trying to be positive.
This is the AJ feels good about himself round, so.
And what's the floor sitting
Oh
on?
yeah, how's the floor going, Jess?
Floor's got 11. Very well.
Wow. The floor's the one to watch for this.
Actually,
this
I think we
episode.
might rename the floor the Discord, because it's like they have beaten you with these questions. You know?
I think
Alright.
Jess
Good shout.
should get them.
Yeah, Jess gets everything really. She's the owner of this whole thing.
And then I'm going to fucking marry her and half of them are going to be mine.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh no!
No,
right.
prenup.
Here we go into round 2
Get a
of
prenup
Who
just for
Loves
points.
Who the Most.
We want prenup.
All right. First
Let's
question
do
for
it.
Who Loves Who the Roast, round 2. Oh, by the way, I didn't actually I didn't tell you this, but when we first talked about this whole quiz a couple of days ago, Richard, I said Who Loves Who the Most, and you wrote more like or Who Loves Who the Moost, and I just totally blanked on it. And then I was listening to the first quiz and realized there's a moment where I say accidentally Who Loves Who the Moost. So anyway, I just wanted to say that I actually didn't get the joke.
That'd
first
be
time.
a great question for next year, guys. Write this down, Discord.
Complete the Ouroboros. All right. So, Richard, what did
Yes.
AJ respond to the question? Oh, sorry. I posed a scenario to the two of you, 2 different scenarios, and you had to choose between one. The scenario is you can either see your best work become famous and successful, but you don't get the credit for it, or you can become famous and successful for something that you consider to be creatively beneath you. Which one did AJ choose?
I feel like there's a very AJ answer to this and a very Richard answer to this, but I'm going to say that we may have thought along the same line. Well, I don't know.
I'm going to tell you that regardless of what your answers were, you did not choose the answers for the same reason, because you both provided reasoning for your answers.
Right, yeah. I'm going to say he wanted he wanted himself to be successful for something creatively beneath him.
Correct. And AJ said, it's already happened. do, you want to tell us about it, AJ?
I guess, my TikTok account, which isn't crazy successful, but the only way
But
I
is
can...
crazy beneath me.
Well, it's not necessarily beneath me, but the only way I can get traffic to my TikTok channel now is if I revive this dead series about generation gaps that I no longer have anything to say about or contribute to. So I guess my thinking was, if you get famous for something you think is creatively beneath you, you're already got the platform then, and then you could probably swing your way to doing something you're more interested in. However, TikTok has shown me that is not true. And if you do want to pivot, they will sink the fuck out of your account.
I think that's just capitalism.
All right, AJ, what did Richard answer?
I reckon Richard also answered he becomes famous, but it's creatively beneath him.
He did. You're both a bunch of sellouts. Yay!
And I gave the
Yes!
exact reason you just said, AJ, that it would give me the platform to then pivot.
His
Yeah, exactly.
naive reason. By the
Well,
way,
I'm not
AJ,
as big
I
on TikTok, so I don't know about it.
You'll learn one day.
AJ recently Instagram Reels, because I'm about 6 months behind on Instagram Reels, but keeps serving me up this bloody guy who's doing exactly your shtick of the generational responses, but it's all about different generational stuff at work. So it's boomers in this kind of situation at work, and basically it gets through, and every single time Gen Z is just not in the chair, they're just not there, they haven't turned up, and it's just so annoying because every single time it's the same final bit, and it's
But you've made it to
right.
the end of all of his videos.
no, but the worst part about it is I keep
I watched them backwards.
No, I keep hitting the 3 dots and being do not serve me this up. Do not show me videos related to this.
Do not serve me this
block
cunt.
this creator. And it keeps coming up. I'm like, damn it.
I have a few copycat accounts, but it's such a vague format that I don't know
You can't copyright
if
it.
I could claim it. Well, I when I first did it, I didn't think I was inventing something. But now when people do the same format, people
You're
tag
I
me.
stole that. They stole that thing I invented.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. All right, well, sellouts, you've got another question.
Mm.
AJ, what is Richard's... Oh, what does Richard say is your worst opinion?
I reckon Richard would say my worst opinion is probably something around what I expect from Fast and Furious movies. At least that feels like the one we've been discussing the most recently.
No, it's a lot simpler than that. Richard, do you want to tell us?
Your opinion or your belief that the word sixth is pronounced sixth.
Sick. What am I saying wrong?
So Richard spelled it out. You believe that the word SIXTH is pronounced SIKTH. So you're not actually putting like the S sound of the X in there. So it's
a very complimentary worst opinion. If this is as bad as I get, then I must be a pretty onto it kind of guy.
He's just saying that you sound dumb.
That's fine.
Early days, AJ.
What's wrong with how I'm sixth? So do you go for the full? Do you like chew the word? I'm trying to get through it as quick as
All
possible.
right, we don't
I'm trying to move on to seventh.
I'm trying to move on to the next
get to
question.
seventh, eighth.
All right, Richard. What does AJ believe that your worst opinion is?
My worst opinion is that Dune is half a movie.
Incorrect.
Very good.
But it is a terrible opinion. But what is AJ? What did you answer?
So what did I say? I said
You said
read out what I wrote.
Making
Richard's
fun of you
worst-
is cool because that's what we put last year.
Richard's worst opinion is that I am entirely to blame for us getting a shit flat.
Yeah. Okay. I want to tell a story.
Okay.
So this is like an insult, I guess, but it's hidden broadly within a larger compliment. I've got a story time to tell.
I also believe that you've told this story on pod
So
before.
this is gonna be the longest quiz.
This will be a long one. So in 2017, me, Richard, and David Correos, we all moved into a flat together. And when we got in there, everyone was like, this place fucking sucks. And AJ's the only one who went to the flat viewing. He should have told us it was real shit. And to make matters worse, AJ's room is like this big studio, which still wasn't very good, but it was better than the other rooms in the house, right? And I had to, very briefly, endure quite a lot of passive aggression from both Richard and Dave because of this. But the thing is that the only reason I was the only one to see it was that Richard was going to see Yellowcard's farewell tour or something or other in Australia at the time.
That's a point right there, AJ. I'm surprised you remember that.
And Dave was too busy and couldn't come to it. I filmed the flat, walking through it. I filmed the room that would become mine. I filmed the other rooms. I sent it to our group chat. I said, it's pretty shit. If I would only want to live there if I could have that room, but all good if you guys don't want to bend to that. We were running out of time to find a place as well. So we got the place and it seemed like, all right, anyway, they got upset with me because I wanted to use the good shower. There were 2 showers in this house. One of them was horrible, that was closer to my room, and one of them was just this normal shower. And we were having this big argument. And one of the funny, and I've talked to Dave about this. I've said, Dave, do you want to know the funniest thing I've ever seen you do was that everyone was like, no, AJ, you should go shower in your own shower because it's your shower. And I was like, you know what? Fine. I'll leave and go to my other shower. And immediately Richard and Dave were like, actually, that was pretty shitty of us. They both chase after me to try stop me from using the other shower. I closed the door to this other bathroom, and this house is so shit that the door to the other bathroom is like a public toilet door where there's maybe a foot of space between the bottom of the door and the floor, right? So I've locked this door. Dave, who feels so bad, starts crawling under the door. The shower's going, I'm getting undressed. He starts crawling under the door, going, AJ, no! AJ! And I was so mad at him, but it was so funny. It was this weird contrast of the most extreme emotions of being so angry at someone, but then they're doing the funniest shit in the world. And I turned the shower off, I opened the door and I said, guys, I'm really sorry that this was the best I could find us, but I was by myself trying to find it, and if I can't feel safe enough to have a shower shower in my own house, then you guys should just move out and I'll find other flatmates. And I remember seeing a look of recognition in Richard's eyes when I said this, which I've never seen since, which was a very rare instance of Richard. It felt like, and I'm putting words in your mouth here, it felt like you were going, that's a good point, fair enough, sorry about all of this. Because
well, okay,
and what? Wait! I'm not finished with the compliment yet.
Oh my
the
God.
thing is, the thing which struck
when was
me
this a
about it,
compliment?
Richard. It's about to be. The thing that struck me so much about it, Richard, is you are like one of the most reasonable, like by the books guys I've ever met, and it's why I fell in love with you. Was that like you were such a handy guy to have on my side, because if I'm having a problem and you're on my side, you can dissect whatever the opposing argument is and leave it in tatters. And this was the only instance in which, in our whole friendship, even to this day, where I've gone like, what else was I supposed to do? You guys weren't around. You guys weren't. And I feel like I made it all clear, and we all moved in. And it's the only time I think you reflected and was like, actually, I've been treating AJ unfair. And maybe it's the only time you needed to. Maybe every other time that I've been upset with you, it wasn't warranted.
And
But-
again, AJ, how is this a compliment?
because I'm saying like he's super reasonable, so this thing stood out.
I do want to say that there's a flaw in the answer to this question, though, because I don't think you're entirely to blame for us having a bad flat. I shouldn't have
Okay,
trusted
well,
you.
Fair enough. But also, I filmed the flat walking through. I don't know how more clear I could have been.
I also
anyway.
just want to point out as well that like part of the issue when we moved into the flat was you were like, I'll pay $10 extra rent, and it's like you should have been paying double the rent of it. You had your own house attached to our house.
I mean, I did end up paying more, so there's still that.
Yeah, we worked it out, and then
and became better friends for it. And I remember feeling after that we could bond on everything we hated about the flat together instead of it feeling directed at me, which was I very much
all
appreciated.
right. So that's this year's tummies touching.
Well, I was trying to think of what story could match the caliber of the tummy touch.
It didn't, but cool. All right. So next question.
I just remember that there were cockroaches living in the seal of that fridge.
Yeah, to be fair, that was on the fridge, not on the flat.
There were what living in
There were
there?
cockroaches, and like the rubber seal of the fridge.
God.
Yeah,
God.
and Jess and I would like
Sweet.
pour bleach into it. And then when we moved, because you moved out before Jess and I did, well, Jess had moved in, and we took your area downstairs. But the new flatmates didn't challenge us on paying more rent, so we were paying like $90 each. It was fucking
It was,
sick.
it was so good.
See, so it turned out fine. I did you a fucking favor.
But when we moved out, we were like, you know what? You guys keep the fridge. Don't even worry about it. It's just this cockroach infested icebox that we left at the flat.
Nice.
All right, and the last question of this round of Who Loves Who the Most. Richard, what does AJ say is the thing he's done in life that he's most proud of?
I'm gonna say it's a $1 genre.
Ooh, interesting question, but no. AJ said it was having successfully freelanced for just years.
Wow. Okay.
Like I guess when I look at myself, I don't see myself as a particularly capable person. But like I've worked as a freelancer for years at a time. So I mean, I feel like that's kind of something I wouldn't think I would be able to do.
You've had to take care of your own tax, AJ.
Don't even remind me. I still got to take care of this year's taxes, and they're going to be a whopper this year. Tell you what, fucking hell.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's hard, but it does mean
I guess it is good.
You've been successful. You've made a bit of money. That's nice.
That is good.
I mean, because I'm actually I'm looking down the barrel of like contracting now I'm just actually officially unemployed right now, guys. Officially unemployed. My last day at work.
Cool, man.
Congrats.
Whee! Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. So I am about to go
No
on
job, 2
contract
kids.
for. Yeah. About to go on contract, so I'm going to have to like delve into the world of like looking after my own tax and all that sort of stuff. And I was
Children.
like, oh, sweet Lord. But it's a lot of money,
accountant.
so that's good.
If you ever need any advice, hit me up, Jeremy. Here's the secret that people don't tell you about doing your own taxes. It's actually not that hard. It's just really boring, and you got to do it for about 3 hours, and then that's it. And everyone acts like that's the I've got to hire a fucking accountant, and it's like just dedicate 3 boring hours, and you can do your own taxes.
How many times have I sat and done podcasts with you? I could definitely dedicate myself to 3 boring hours.
There you go.
Very good.
There you go.
All right. And AJ, what does Richard say is the thing he's done in life that he's most proud of?
Landed a beautiful fiance.
Wow.
Are you saying that Jess is the thing in life that he's done that he's most proud of?
Look, we can turn it into an insult if you'd like, Jeremy. I'm happy to meet you there. I was meaning it as a compliment, but all's fair in love and war, you know?
Well, you're incorrect anyway, because Richard said it's basically creating a role for myself at work through just passion and persistence.
That's a good one.
That's also how I landed
I'm
Jess.
very...
Zing!
I'm very proud of Richard for that as well.
Cool. All right. Well, on this note of pride, Jess, what are the scores?
Some scoresy warsies. So, way out in the lead is the Discord with 13. Coming in second is Richard on 8. And then AJ on 4.
Wait, so do the Discord even gets points for who loves who the most questions that we get wrong?
Yes, but I only award 1 per question, not 2.
Okay.
We
So I'm
should
treating them like
do
a
a
third
game
person.
of who loves who the most for the Discord, like how well they think they know us, how well the Discord loves us.
The thing is that, like, if you
Yeah, but
allow
all these-
if you allow the Discord to write those questions, it would be like, how many times did AJ wank in 2017?
Did I record that? This is legitimately information. At this point, we've been doing this podcast for so long, and I am like a terminally open book that, like, I would not be surprised if that anecdote you just said had basis in reality.
Swag and Dragon Josh definitely kept a record. All right, well, on that note, let's begin round 3. Question 1. Which Scooby-Doo movie contains Daphne's sexy negligee?
Oh,
Raggy,
AJ.
is it stage fright?
Boom! Congratulations. It surely is.
Yes.
All right. Question 2. Which film studio has produced the most films you've covered for Film Franchise Fortnights?
Scoob.
Richard.
Warner Brothers.
Incorrect. AJ, you want to go?
Universal.
Congratulations. That is correct. All right. Question 3. In the film Fat Girls, what is the name of Monique's clothing line?
Oh, a Scoob.
Richard.
And Jess might remember this as well because we watched it
Yeah, I
together.
fucking love this film, man.
Fique Madame.
It's my drag name.
I had to include this question because I just fucking loved that question, that answer. Oh, it was so
Was
good.
that sent in by Craig by any chance? Who's seen that movie like 100 times?
No, that was also The Almighty Watcher.
Nice classic.
Well, it's a
Boris
Patreon a question, so...
Oh, yeah.
God, Almighty Watcher is eating tonight. God.
Yeah, definitely.
Half the questions are from him.
Yeah. All right. Question 4. How many Scooby-Doo movie titles contain the word monster?
Raggy.
Scoob.
Oh, AJ just got there.
Okay.
I heard myself.
I'm
first.
gonna say 4.
Ooh, incorrect. Richard?
I was going to say 3.
Incorrect. It's 5.
Classic.
Damn it! I knew it would be because it sounds like something that's going to be like half of them, but I could only think of Monsters Unleashed and Monster of Mexico,
Curse
and
of the
maybe
Lake
the
Monster.
Loch Ness Monster. The Curse of the Lake. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yep. Nice.
All right, cool. Question 5. And you can tell honestly, I think everyone just gets really excited about like the counting questions because there's so many questions in sliding scale, and I couldn't fit them all in, and so I've there's a few more. So this one, I like this one because it has the official number of Cult Popture podcasts. How many Barbie movies have a Rotten Tomatoes audience score of 69?
Fucking hell. Scoob.
Richard?
7.
Incorrect. AJ?
Let's go 4.
Oh, so close. It was 3.
Ugh.
All right. Question 6. All right. This is listen to the whole question here. Question 6.
Okay.
When Nymphomaniac was originally covered on the podcast, there were 33 franchises, including the standard setting duology. Where did Nymphomaniac place among the franchises covered by that point when you got around to ordering
What is
them?
this question? This is years apart from each other. This is like
we didn't rank
in
it
the
for
20.
for-
We didn't rank it for like 2 years after we watched it. I don't remember. Oh my
So wait, so
God.
someone has gone through, counted all the like our ranked list, taken all the franchises we covered after Nymphomaniac out of it, and put it there.
Who added all the who first added all of the films you'd done for Film Franchise Fortnights to Letterboxd?
We did it on pod.
We did,
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did this. It
So-
was a podcast
So
like 2 years after that.
you organized them in order of your watching, and so
That's true, we did.
yeah. So
It's actually not that hard of a question
Oh,
to.
yeah.
It's not that hard of a question to ask.
Scoob.
It's a hard question to.
Richard,
15.
boom, correct.
It's about halfway.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's 15th out of the 33. All right.
Right.
Question 7. Which voice actor has played Barbie the second highest number of times?
That's so annoying.
Scoob.
I don't know.
Richard?
It's Kelly Sheridan.
Incorrect. No, she's the highest, I think. No, it was America Lindbeck who did 5 films as Barbie's voice.
Wow.
All right.
I don't think I would even. I don't register that name.
Yeah,
I don't
neither,
remember
yeah.
that name at all.
All right, question 8. In the very first self-indulgent Cult Popture quiz, what did AJ suggest might be a good answer to the question, what is Richard's most famous catchphrase?
It's Scoob.
Richard.
That was my answer.
Oh, right. No.
All right.
AJ?
Famously,
No. These are both really good answers, but it's just some random thing that Richard said that you were like, that'd be a really great answer to what your most famous catchphrase is. And Richard
God, these are cutthroat questions.
said, all right, guys, let's stop dragging our feet and start ragging our teats.
Okay, but on the episode, AJ says, like, I don't want to offend you, but your catchphrase is, because I'm used to editing that out of the podcasts.
No, incorrect. That was actually in the Who Loves Who the Most round of the second annual
Okay.
quiz. So,
Wow.
Well, all right. So that's the end of the
Jeremy's
round, so let's
done
stop
his
dragging our feet and start
homework.
ragging our teats.
all right, that is the end of that round. Jess, can you give us an update on the scores? I'm expecting the Discord is doing quite well.
Yes, I'm going to go bottom up. So, AJ, 6. Richard on 10. And then, do we want to make a call here to exclude Who Loves Who the Most for Discord?
Sure.
Since they didn't technically write
Yeah.
the question.
Because they don't love
So-
us.
They didn't do any
Discord
fucking work for this
is
round.
On 13.
This is such an uphill climb for me, you guys. We keep getting to the end of each round, and I'm like, I scored 1 point. Like,
Oh, in the last one.
my brain is on fire right now.
It's
I'm
like-
trying so hard. I'm getting 1 point per round.
It's like you can almost see it. It's like,
Mm.
can't quite believe it, you know. I don't know the
Yeah, it's
rest
The
of the
Climb.
words of Miley Cyrus is The Climb. Anyway, but what's crazy is that you're still exactly the same gap as you were at the end of the second round.
Yeah.
4. So
it's almost like it could be a metaphor for how I feel about my life outside the podcast.
oh no, it's too early, AJ. We don't get this bleak until the end with you normally. Come on. Buck up, buddy.
AJ, I'm the one that's had 3 glasses of wine. I'll get existential, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Buck up, buddy. All right, come on. Let's stop dragging our feet and start ragging our teats into Who Loves Who the Most? Round 3.
It's the climb.
It's the climb.
Can't wait to hear. Oh, you're going to do the climb there, aren't you? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep. Sweet. I was thinking if you're going to try and
standard
find
Okay.
some.
cover of
I
the
thought
climb.
this was my decision, but
It is your decision. I'm just trying to guess what decision. It's a fun game. Because I was thinking you're going to try and find some kind of music that talks about dragging your feet, or I don't think you're going to find any music that has ragging our teats. But good luck.
if there is, I will find it.
All right. Who Loves Who the Most? Round 3. AJ, if Richard had to replace you with a well-known filmmaker, who would he choose?
On the podcast we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Like replace as his
Damien
co-host for-
Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle? No,
Not just my
incorrect.
position in life.
Richard, I kind of quibble with Richard's answer because I did specify a well-known filmmaker, but I guess
I knew you
beauty
would.
is in the eye. Yeah. Richard chose David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
I mean, I know who that is, so
I knew AJ would, but I was like, oh, Jeremy might not. But
Why?
we got
why
along
would you
well
choose
when
him?
I interviewed him, and I thought we would have a good dynamic.
Oh, okay, cute. That's very nice. All right, Richard, who would AJ replace you with?
Normally his go-to answer would be Patty Jenkins for this, but I'm going to say
But he actually has to hang out with this person, so definitely not her.
so I'm going to guess that he's going to say Greta Gerwig.
I did think about saying Greta Gerwig.
I was like, what's the most virtue signally answer he could put?
Yeah, no, good thinking, dude.
But
Wow.
okay, so I'm
When I try to predict your answers, Richard, I should start thinking, what's the most backwards ass racist thing someone would say?
Exactly. We get each other. Thank you. AJ.
if AJ was not virtue signaling Richard, who would he have chosen?
No, he's given his answer. He's given his
I
answer.
don't know. I'm not
Boyle.
going to give any points for this. I just want to get
okay.
to see whether he actually knows you.
Danny Boyle.
As
I
is,
can't
as is
remember
the
what I
intent
put.
of this round, ultimately.
Yeah.
Okay, who did you put then?
No, you've got to guess.
Okay, well, I can guess Danny Boyle a third time if you like, but I would
Oh,
rather
sorry, I
you just
didn't
told
actually-
me the answer.
I didn't hear you either. I was talking the previous time. No, the answer is Ryan Johnson,
Oh,
That's
yes,
right.
yeah, that's a good answer.
which makes
He's
sense.
very
That is a
woke,
good answer.
yeah.
Like, just doing a pod. Like, I feel like whenever Ryan Johnson makes something, I'm like, dude, you made this for me. That's I've never had that so thickly with.
And
him.
you're hoping
particularly Poker Face.
that like $1 genre he would feel the same about.
Not necessarily. I feel like I would love to have a conversation with Ryan Johnson, and if this is the only way I can do it by
By a theoretical construct where I force
forcing
him
him to do a podcast, yeah, exactly, I would do it.
Yeah, very nice. All right, Richard, what does AJ say is his most treasured possession?
His Me Without You deluxe edition white vinyl.
Nowhere near as thoughtful as that. AJ just said his laptop.
Mm.
A lot of good memories of what you watched on that, eh?
Okay, yeah, there's a lot of good memories of what I've watched on it. This laptop I've had for 6 months.
Yeah, I mean that is the thing that I shouldn't give this away because I actually can't remember what I put, but yeah, it's like I was just gonna something the most valuable thing that I own, like
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
that would cost the most to replace. But anyway, sorry.
pretty much. I'm not a big possessions guy.
Don't you have
Yeah, I
contents
did think
insurance,
that.
AJ?
one with?
Do you have
Sorry?
do you have contents insurance?
I've never had insurance for anything in my life.
This is
and I've
suddenly
never-
a very middle-aged. I'm aware of how middle-aged I sound on this
AJ.
podcast. AJ, do you not have contents insurance?
But you've got to take tax advice from this guy, Jeremy.
Almost. All right. AJ, what did Richard say is his most treasured possession?
His PSVR, whatever it is.
No.
That's technically
Richard
Jesus.
said,
Yeah, I bought
Mike,
that.
My cats.
Which are actually also technically Jess's.
See, I was going to go with cats. But I was like, Richard loves them so much he wouldn't think of them as possessions.
What do you know? It's funny that was a last minute correction because I was going to put Jess.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
Again, I should have lowered my
Okay, but
social awareness
also,
and
Jess,
said something offensive.
Jess was just like, fucking hell. I was talking to her last night and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to put. And she said, just put me.
Don't say that on the pod. You just outed me, man.
People are going to think I'm a traditional woman.
The wedding is off.
Very good. Okay. Richard, what is the nicest thing AJ... Oh, sorry. What? No. What... Sorry. Oh, this is one of those like double blind questions. Okay. Richard, what does AJ say is the nicest thing you have ever done for him?
See, this is interesting because Richard is going to answer with what he thinks is the nicest thing.
No, he's going
So if these answers aren't aligned...
He's going to answer because he wants to get the
What
point.
I think
Or,
you
I mean,
put. Yeah. I'm going... I mean, I think if we're thinking like genuinely, there's like a few breakups and emotional things like that I've helped you through in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not what I put.
That's true. Didn't really want to put that on the answer for the podcast, though. You just like dish all this dirt. Like one time, AJ did this like horrific thing, and I was there for him.
Yeah, and I didn't tell the
kept
cops.
secret.
All right, reveal the answer, please.
No. So, actually, Richard, AJ said the nicest thing you've ever done for him is explain the Bernoulli principle to him.
Fuck. If I'd thought about it more, I would have said that. Yeah, because I remember that being a cute moment.
Which is a story that AJ actually also told on quiz number two, in an answer to a similar question, but not quite exactly
really?
the same.
I'm reusing content now?
Yeah.
Well, this is why we can't keep doing these quizzes, guys. I don't have enough information.
My life is but finite.
I thought that was a really smart answer.
Richard hasn't done enough nice things for me. No, it was actually an answer to the question around what one of your greatest fears was, and the conversation went to the fact that you're afraid of flying, and then you told the story of the fact that when you flew somewhere together,
and I explained how planes stay in the air,
and you held his hand.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So AJ, what did Richard say is the nicest thing that? Oh, yes. What did Richard say is the nicest thing you've ever done for him?
Oh my god, I don't know if it's one. I can't think of one specific thing, but I would hope
There are just so
that
many.
Richard would see me as someone who he could trust to confide in. Like, I feel like I have made it very clear that I take him seriously. Is that what you put, Richard? Is that what you wrote down?
Jeremy, do you want to read
Richard,
out what I wrote?
Richard actually wrote down, my answer is that I'm not fucking answering this because he ruined the Ted Lasso finale for me.
Wow.
Oh my
He's been angry at me for that all day.
I have been. I
Tell
haven't
me he
spoken to
did
you all
that.
day.
I noticed.
Well, I didn't tell you about it, Jess, because he did it while we were in the middle of watching it, and I was like, well, I don't want to ruin it for you as well.
Okay, tell the class what I did that ruined it.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because AJ, I have to say I'm on your side with this because I actually think that that's not ruining anything.
So I, like, we had to watch the finale a day late, and I had blocked all social media. I blocked the words Ted Lasso, Richmond, Ted Lasso, Apple, everything on Twitter to avoid just like any conversation about it. Anyone at work that I knew watched it, I just avoided talking to all day. And it's like, and this is the thing about this as well that's an important context, is that like AJ and I don't like knowing, there's like certain people we don't like know what they think of, you know, movies and finales and things like that. And one of these things was that I didn't want to know, like, the general consensus of it. I didn't tell AJ any of this because I was like, well, you know, we don't talk. He doesn't watch Ted Lasso. He's not a threat. Maybe 2 or 3 minutes into the episode, just turned it on, and AJ messaged me and said, hey, you know how you're all fucking high and mighty about the you never watched Game of Thrones because it ended bad, and I was like, if this is about Ted Lasso, I've just turned on the finale. Please don't spoil it. And he was like, how did fucking Ted Lasso turn out for you? And I was like, okay, well, I've been avoiding any reaction to the finale all day, and you've just ruined that for me. Is this what you wanted from this interaction?
Yeah, right. So, firstly, I sent the message at the same time as you sent the message saying you didn't want to hear anything. It was too late. By the time that message came through, I'd already hit enter.
Yeah.
Regardless,
and
I
you
haven't
were like,
seen the finale. I haven't seen reactions specifically to the finale. But all I've been reading all week is people talking about
a couple of context things that I've since. So one is that now that I muted them for 24 hours, all these terms. Now that has lifted, I saw that Patrick H. Willems tweeted, when's the expose on what happened to season 3 of Ted Lasso going to come out? And I saw that and I was like, that will have been what AJ saw, and he took that as gospel and thought, I'm going to message Richard about this. Also the season, the general consensus I think of this season and the finale is that it's it was good but not great. It's like if the final season of Breaking Bad was just a season of Justified. It's like you have one of the greatest shows of all time, and then the end is just a really good show. But because it's lesser than what we've seen before, people are acting like it's the worst fucking thing that's ever happened. But it's it was just solid, whereas the first 2 seasons are incredible. But yeah, AJ was like, why am I not allowed to make fun of you? And I was like, well, and I said this to her, I was like, I don't make fun of you by saying, hey, you fucking idiot, this happens in Across the Spider-Verse. And I've seen Across the Spider-Verse, and AJ hasn't. And I could have provided him with a very real spoiler, but I was like, well, I respect,
because I didn't spoil anything.
I respect your, want to know as little as possible about something going into it so much that even when I'm mad at you, I can't bring myself to ruin any part of it for you.
I reckon I didn't spoil shit, and I was talking about general consensus that had been established for weeks on the Twitter feed. That was at least that's why I thought it was fair game to go into with. And also, genuinely wanted to hear your thoughts, because you'd talked about avoiding shows before for that reason. So, I'm sorry I ruined the finale for you, Richard, but I don't know if I
actually did.
My sin was that great.
But also you messaged me about 3 minutes after I put on the episode, but it was also right as I was finalizing my answers to send to Jeremy. And that was the one I was trying really hard to think of a nice one. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this instead.
Well, no, it's fine, because these quizzes are all about how horrible I am, remember? So
you had to feel good. I
saw that question and I was like, how's Richard going to get out of this one? I bet he's going to bring up Ted Lasso.
This is the other thing, is that when I wrote that, I said to Jeremy, I was like, don't chicken out of doing this, because there's a legit chance he'll actually get this.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. At the end of all of that, and I do say all of that, Jess, can you update us on the scores?
Yeah, sure thing. But I do have something to admit. I started playing Candy Crush at one point, and
which is totally acceptable on this podcast. Can I just say?
Thank you so much.
I don't think any points were awarded. So
the first question of this round: did AJ get it right or wrong?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, great. So no one scored any points this round.
That is
I didn't think so.
How many points did you score in Candy Crush, Jess? We could probably count them.
Yeah, I think I passed about 6 levels, so it's pretty good.
Oh, well, let's put them down on the scoreboard then.
Split them up, 3 each.
Yeah. And I think we've also got an answer to who loves who the most. Probably me at this point, right? It doesn't sound like Richard has much affection for me at all.
That's what we've discovered. That's what we discovered consistently every year. during this quiz.
Mm.
So,
Anyway,
also, the funny thing is as well that I've seen so many like TikToks and memes today that I've wanted to send you, but I've had to stay in character so that this answer works.
Mm.
okay, well, all that brings us to the sliding scale round. And this year, let's just do this a bit quicker, I think. Do you guys have paper in front of you?
Yes.
No. I don't even have a pencil, and if I did, I'd apologize for the sounds.
'Cause-
I have a notes app. Is that good enough?
Sure. Yeah. Just anything you can show on screen would be great. Just because, we need to keep
Okay.
this like above board and fair. All right. So first question, ready to write the answer. And these are all numbers. And the sliding scale round, just for those who haven't heard us before, these are all questions where it's almost impossible to know the exact number of the answer. But I'm going to ask AJ and Richard to both write down a number, and then the closest number to the correct answer wins the question. All right. First question. How many minutes is it before you see Hogwarts in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone? And answers on screen,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I've written my answer.
Oh, cannot see that at all. AJ, what's your answer?
Okay.
No. It's just what's your
Um,
answer? Just tell us. I'll believe you.
Wait, I can write it in the title section.
Richard?
I said 33.
65.
33. Richard wins absolutely hands down. The answer is 32 minutes.
I thought it was like famously you don't see Hogwarts.
No,
half an
it's
hour.
like you see it so early in the film.
All
I
right.
remember it being early and you'd think.
Okay.
Question 2. While on his trip to America, how many episodes of Family Guy did Richard watch using Swag and Dragon Josh's Hulu account?
Oh my god.
What? How is at all is that fair to me? What, he knows the answer.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was like, when we got there, we were in San Francisco, and I was like, can I use one of your, like, American accounts for something? And then...
I'm shaking from lack of Family Guy. I need it.
Jess and I got high, and we were like, on very legal marijuana edibles, and yeah, and then we were like, let's put on Family Guy. I don't know. Yeah.
Right, AJ, what's your answer?
150.
Oh, shit. Okay. Richard?
I put 8.
8. Well, the answer is 10. So, Richard, you get that point.
Why? Okay. Stupid question. Because why is it interesting if it's only 10? I was like, well, it's going to be like a massive number.
How is there
then.
no feasible way we could know that?
That.
Oh, you watched...
How the hell could someone watch
160
I can't
is such a
believe-
funny guess, AJ.
150 episodes?
I can't believe the amount of like crazy questions we get in these quizzes, and now one of them is Richard watched 10 episodes of Family Guy. Who gives a fuck? I could watch 10 episodes. I watched 10 episodes of fucking Night on Earth the other night. No one gives a shit about that. 10 episodes.
Wait,
is
AJ,
not
that might be the next
worthy.
question.
Well, AJ,
All right. Ask
just
the question. Ask the question.
How many episodes of Night on Earth did AJ watch?
No, I'm not asking that question.
Technically only 6. I exaggerated. So I
I put 10.
Thank you, AJ. And you've just proven exactly why that kind of question makes it into the quiz. All right.
You shouldn't have made good content
Next
out of it,
question.
AJ. You fool.
Just
is
let it go
punching
by.
down.
Let it go by, and it will be cut out. All right. Next question. If you splice together all the music that Carlisle has made for Cult Popture that's been used on Pod, how long would that track be in minutes and seconds?
That's good.
Write it down now, please. Minutes and seconds. And answers, please.
haven't written
I
it
put
yet.
10 minutes, 30 seconds.
All right, AJ?
Yeah.
Did you? What am I forgetting?
What
how
did you
much
say?
music he's made for us? I put 1 minute 50 seconds.
Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, gosh.
What? He's done
who's-
2 30-second themes for us.
No, but they
and
were different each
Problematic.
But
time.
they had multiple versions, and he's done Problematic Corner, and he did that whole Scooby-Doo thing, which was like 5 minutes on its own.
Ah, right. Okay.
Yeah. So the answer is, and I don't think the Scooby-Doo thing was not music. So Richard is closer because the answer is 6 minutes and 25 seconds.
Oof.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Okay, the next question is, how many movies have you watched for Film Franchise Fortnights that Dan O'Connell has done the sound for?
What is this question?
It's sliding scale! You don't need to know the real answer.
Right, what ridiculous fucking number can I put for this? Are we expecting a small
I've
number
got
or a
mine.
large number, guys? I'll zag the other way. Fuck, I don't fucking know. Alright, there you go.
What'd you write, AJ?
14.
14, and Richard said...
37.
Oh, okay, Richard very close. It's 40.
Sick.
And no, I do not have a list to read out.
What a fun question. It's just fucking numbers then in the end.
Aren't we all
That
just
is what
numbers?
sliding scale is all about. All right. Next question. How many actors have given voice to Barbie in film? And yes, this does include the live action that's about to be released.
Okay, so it's at least one then.
But it's like dozens of Barbies in that movie, isn't it?
yeah, that is true. I wonder
Okay.
if this person's
We're just going to
including
count
that.
one. We're just going to count one for that movie. Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
One for the movie?
Every year there's a question that the person giving the question gets it wrong. And it's this year. Congratulations to that person.
Yeah, and I'm not responsible for that. I'm going to blame the Discord for that. All right. So just count one for Margot Robbie.
So we're including the movie as a voice
Yeah.
of Barbie. So Margot Robbie is one.
Yeah.
And then every other answer is pulled from movies which are at least 60 minutes long.
I believe so.
All right.
Okay. Then I have
I
an
have an
answer.
answer.
All right. Richard, what's your answer?
7.
7. And AJ, what's your
I
answer?
wrote 3.
3. Okay. Unfortunately, Richard is the closest. It's 10. Kelly Sheridan did 28 films. Diana Karina did 3 films. Erica Lindbeck did 5 films. America Young did 4 films. Margot Robbie 1 film. Jodie Benson was the voice for 3 films in Toy Story 2, 3, and 4. Sky Sweetman was Barbie's singing voice in 1 movie. Melissa Lyons was Barbie's singing voice in 2. And Jennifer Warris for 1. And Brittany McDonald is Barbie's singing voice in 1.
I can't believe we've watched all of those movies.
All right. Well, speaking of you can't believe how many movies you've watched, the next question is, how many Scooby-Doo movies have the title scheme Scooby-Doo and the blank? The look on AJ's face right now is like genuinely, it's this look of what has my life become? All right. Do you have a number, AJ?
All right, I got my answer.
Okay. What's
Yeah.
your answer?
40.
40. And AJ, Richard?
15.
15. Richard is very close. It's 12.
Did you say 40?
Yeah, I thought they were all that except for like Ahoy and fucking
Big Top.
Cowabunga or whatever.
No, but there's like
the fuck they were
Scooby-Doo in Where's My
Big-
Mummy? And
Yeah, I guess so. I thought the balance would fall more to Scooby-Doo and the Bean.
I put 20 originally and then I crossed it out and wrote 15. Because then I was like, actually,
You
I
still
can't
would've
actually
beaten
think of
me.
that many.
You still would have beaten me if you'd.
yeah, fair. All right.
All right. What is the street number of Nancy's house in Nightmare on Elm Street? You got an answer, AJ?
Yeah. Let Richard go first.
All right,
I went first
Richard.
last time.
Is it 1428?
AJ, what have you got?
I've written 16 billion.
Well, actually, Richard has it exactly correct. It is 1428.
Yeah, I remember.
I figured that, and I knew go hard or go home. I'm not going to beat him, so
Join them.
maybe I could be a little bit funny.
Thank you for providing content, AJ. We can always rely on you. All right.
Because I remember that. Because fun fact, Inside, the Bo Burnham special was filmed at that house.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. His Nicole Holofcener bought it, who was his partner at the time. And so there were all these articles that's like it's filmed at 1428 Elm Street.
I edited a video of Nicole Holofcener the other day.
Yeah, I believe they've split up
I
now
didn't know
because
they
he's
were.
dating Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah.
Well, power couple. All right. So these are the last two questions in sliding scale, and both of them, can I just say, represent an enormous amount of effort from both of the people who asked these questions. So the first one
Right.
is from
Time
Tara.
to get them spectacularly wrong.
So this first one is from Terrence, and asks, how many times is the word Barbie said in part 1 of the Barbie podcast? Yes.
As if they counted this. As if. I don't believe it.
I think wasn't this a question last year? Or no, last year it was like in the first like 90 minutes or something like that. How many times is it said? And it was just like, oh, that's when the person arbitrarily stopped counting. So congratulations, Terrence, for making it through all of part 1.
This time it's legit, the whole thing. So yeah.
Okay.
Write down a number, please. How many times?
6 hours. Maybe like... this is so demoralizing, guys. And it sucks because it's not like these are important things to know, and yet I still feel worthless.
All right,
no one in the world has ever answered this question before.
Until now, baby.
Nor should
it's your
they.
turn, AJ.
All right, I put 600.
Richard?
I put 130.
Oh, AJ wins. It is a nice round 500 exactly.
That's insane.
Kidding me? That's crazy.
Yeah, apparently.
I think Luke didn't count.
And I'm not going to double check it.
All right, and the last question of sliding scale also relates to Barbie.
They all do.
And yet, even though you were incredulous about the counting of all the words in part 1, this question is, how many times was the word fuck in any form said during the entire Barbie podcast?
Who the fuck is putting this together? Who's listening to Barbie again and being like awake the whole time that they can count the word fuck being said?
This is our dear friend,
18 hours.
The Almighty Watcher.
Almighty Listener.
Well, should change their name to Almighty Listener. Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah. I don't even know how many minutes are in 18 hours. I don't know what maths I'm doing.
Yeah, this is all right.
Times 60.
How many did you say?
Times 60. 18 times 60.
Okay, I've got an answer.
All
What's
right.
18 times 60?
18
I'm not
times
going to
60.
tell you that, mainly because I don't know.
It's 10,880. Well, 1,080, sorry.
All right, AJ? Is that your answer?
No, my answer is 540, which is one fuck every 2 minutes.
I was more conservative, even though I probably say most of them with 285.
Ooh, so close, Richard. And you're also correct. You do say most of them. It is 246, of which you said 115. And AJ, your parents will be very pleased. You only said 53 of them.
That's enough to get them mad at me, actually. I don't think
All right, congratulations, everyone. We made it through sliding scale, which got much bleaker than I thought it was going to. But let's just all go back and listen to round 2. Round 2, when AJ felt good about himself and life. All right.
Yeah. It is interesting. Like last year, no, 2 years ago, it was like Barbie got her own round, and because, like people were loving Barbie. Scooby-Doo underrepresented in the podcast this year.
Scooby-Doo, it's becoming more, if you look at the download numbers, if you look at like the fact that people, I mean, a new Barbie movie is coming out, but like the fact that like people are talking to us still about Barbie, and Scooby-Doo seems to be cold and dead after launching less than 6 months ago.
I will say this. So you listen back to a couple of old episodes. I mainly listen back to the quiz episodes because they're fun. But I was like, I'm going to go back and listen to Scooby-Doo. And I started listening to it. And you know what? Not a lot of people are brave enough to say this. It's too long.
I disagree.
No, it actually
what
is
a
too long.
stupidly long.
Do you know how many
podcast.
times I've got to the point of like I've run out of my like weekly podcasts that I sort of go like I listen to all these every week, and I've got one on Monday, one on Tuesday, blah blah blah, and then I sort of run out of them like I'll go back to listen to Scooby-Doo, and then I'll like listen to about like 20 minutes. So I'm like, what else is out there?
Oh well, if that's the role I need to be in people's podcasting lives, then so be it.
Very good. All right, Jess, bring us home.
Hey, Jeremy, sorry to interrupt you. I have a slight correction to make.
Fine.
Nick Boban was not dating Nicole Holofcener. He was dating Lorene Scafaria.
Okay.
I got they're similar names. They have similar F's in them, and I got confused.
I reckon we take off 10 points for this egregious
Agreed.
Incorrection. I, however, did edit a video of Nicole Holofcener, so I'm still in the right here.
10 points
Very
to
good.
AJ.
Yes.
Prob's not though.
All right, my phone
All right,
battery is
Jess.
dying, so we need to get on with the quiz.
Jess,
All right,
without
all right.
that muck around of the points, what are the points?
Well, I feel like the Discord really got screwed over in that last round because they didn't really get a chance. So taking a new lead, Richard with 18, Discord with 13, AJ with 7.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
sweet lord. Okay.
Richard got 8 out of those 9.
Oh, wow.
Don't say, oh my god. God, I've never felt so, like, obviously having people be disappointed in me than right now.
No, it's not that I'm
And my
disappointed.
parents have heard me say the F word.
But not 53 times. All right.
No.
That's good. Well, AJ, look, I would say it's
What?
I
What?
would say it's all to play for, but it really isn't all to play for. There are not enough questions for you to win. But let's just
Let's end the
play
quiz here
anyway.
Let's just end it.
All right, let's move into the next round of Who Loves Who the Most, the Pyrrhic round.
The what round?
What?
The Pyrrhic round. Like, it's a... have you ever heard the phrase a Pyrrhic victory?
No.
No.
Oh, right, okay. So, basically, to have a Pyrrhic victory is like... It's like a battle. Like, you win the battle, but, like, you lose all of your soldiers
You
in
don't
doing
win the
so,
war.
and so you go back... No, like, a Pyrrhic victory is like... You lose all your soldiers, and you basically, you're a general, you have to go back home, and, like, there's no...
Sounds like the bloody
solid
Pyrrhic victory. Being a bloody Pyrrhic. I hope that works.
Sure,
I'm
Yeah,
so
that's
angry
fine.
right now, and I don't know why or who at or whatever. I don't know what I'm listening to you talk about. All I know is that Richard's phone battery's dying and my real life battery is dying. So let's get through this
Who
final
loves who the
bloody
most?
Pyrrhical round or whatever you said it was.
Pyrrhic round. Anyway, so great question to start on. AJ, what did Richard say is the smallest hill he will die on?
Fucking winning a little dumb quiz that's about jokes he made 2 years ago.
Man, I wish that was the right answer, but no. Richard's answer is that the smallest hill he will die on is that you can prank people after midday on April Fool's Day.
I consider that quite a large hill, but fair enough.
Very good.
AJ's is that Dune is an entire movie.
I've never said that. I've never.
Well, weirdly, you did say a movie title in your answer, and AJ literally just said a movie title. Any movie title he gives is correct. Because AJ, as we all know, is particularly pernickety about movie titles and how weird they are. And
Wow.
so, but I'm...
Richard didn't get that right, though.
No,
That
he
is
did-
not
he
the
did.
same
You
thing
said
as-
any
No,
movie
that's-
title I say is correct.
No, but you weren't talking about the title.
I said
I'm
the
saying,
title
like-
of a movie. What more do you
yeah,
want?
but if you'd said like Jurassic Park Lost World should have been called Jurassic Park 2, I'd be like, yeah.
No, I said weirdly at the beginning of that, not to give Richard the point, but to say it is weird that he did actually say a movie title. But I'm not giving him that point because he did not get it right. All right, so Richard, what did AJ say is the most worthy Best Picture Oscar winner of the last 20 years?
Parasite.
AJ, what did Richard say is the the most worthy Best Picture Oscar winner of the last 20 years?
I'm gonna go Moonlight. Sorry, La La Land.
You both said Parasite. Very good. Okay,
So I get a point.
You do,
This is
yes,
true.
thank
I
you
mean,
for
it is
making that
Parasite.
clear, Richard. All right. And Richard, if AJ had to do a redux of either Barbie or Scooby-Doo, which would he prefer?
God, I'm just burning points. Fucking
Barbie.
going down in a flame of blazing
Correct.
glory.
And AJ, if Richard
Okay,
had to
but
do
it's
a
for
redux...
a reason that might surprise you.
Wait, give
It's not for-
my answer first, and then we can talk about this.
right. You would also rather do Barbie.
But no, it's for an interesting reason.
So's mine.
I think that it would capitalizing on the new movie.
No, mine is check this. Mine. I would rather redo Barbie because it's been longer since we've done it.
Mm.
See, it's not the reason you thought. Fuck you guys. That was funny. I came up with that last night. I was like, this is going to be hilarious.
Wait, you thought that
Really?
was funny? Okay.
Fuck, I'm going to stop recording. No post-credit scene for this. I'm out right now.
Okay, well, on that note, it's probably a good time to move on to the fight round. We seem to be in the right mood for it. So, this round is where AJ and Richard have both posed questions for the other person, trying to catch them out and make impossible questions, but they must be questions that the other person can feasibly know the answer to. All right, so, AJ.
Forgot we did this.
Richard has asked you, AJ, in his time reviewing films for One News, he has only given one film ever a star rating. Which film was it, and how many stars did he give it? There could be 2 points for you in this.
I was about to say no half points, but
No half points, just 2 points.
that's bullshit.
He has given... It was to... Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and he gave it 3 stars.
You so could have got this as well, because it's like the movie that Richard was wanking on about all of the end of last year. It was Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris, and he gave it 1 billion stars.
Very cool. Very cute.
All right, Richard, AJ has asked you, which YouTube channel have I repeatedly recommended to you, but you refuse to watch?
Joel Haver.
No. But he's good.
Incorrect.
You should watch him as well.
You've recommended me Joel Haver
No.
so many times, and I refuse to watch it.
But not... The answer is Leo Vader, who's that guy that does like the... So can the cat and Stuart Little... Can humans understand the cat and Stuart Little? And how much would a PS5 cost in time money? Like, he does all these great little...
Oh my
sort
gosh,
of
that
almost
sounds
like cross between
horrendous.
stand-up and... They're so funny. And here's the thing,
I don't think
right?
you've ever recommended this.
Oh, fuck you. Okay. So here's the thing. And this is why I remember recommending it to you. Is because every now and then, Richard and I will recommend something to each other, and then the other will, like, become more obsessed with that thing than the person who recommended. It's happened before. There are plenty of examples. This is an example where I'm like, if Richard was to watch a Leo Vader video, the sense of humor is so in line with his own that he would, like, gobble them all up. He would love Leo Vader. I've sent you so many videos, Richard.
Okay, for the record, I just searched through our chat. Results for Leo Vader, 4 results. Results for Joel Haver, 7 results.
How many Joel Haver ones are me? Well, regardless, it's not what I fucking put. It's the answer. So
Okay,
that's
well,
the
yeah, I mean,
question.
it's just interesting that I seem to know you better than you know yourself.
How many times? Okay, but how many times when I've said Joel Haver has it been me recommending it? And how many times? I bet every single one of those Leo Vader recommendations, mentions as me saying you should watch it. I'm willing to bet that the Joel Haver ones is just me mentioning Joel Haver, who's a short filmmaker, by the way.
Sorry, are you still
different
talking?
type of. Wow.
Wow. Oh, man, we really have
All right.
like gone...
What's the next fucking question, Jeremy? What's the next fucking question?
Man, I love these podcasts so much. All right. AJ,
Yeah.
Richard would like to know, what is the first thing that you and he talked about on Facebook Messenger?
I scroll back to the beginning of our chat.
Just for all
This
the people who
is
can't
so
see this because it's an
stupid.
audio medium, the life just drained out of AJ's face. What little life there
This
was
is
left.
We talked. So can you read the question again?
What is the first thing we talked about on Facebook Messenger?
I'm gonna say that it was about a party that we were at together.
Incorrect. Richard even
Do you want me to
attached
read the conversation?
screenshot. Yeah, he attached the screenshot.
Does it make
of
me
the
look fucking bad? I
No.
bet I look like a dipshit.
Okay,
No, you
so
don't.
AJ, this was 24th of April 2013 at 12:21 p.m.
Jesus
which
Christ.
you might remember is the day after Iron Man 3 came out. And we had talked about it.
Okay.
And I said, bro, full stop. This is the first message ever sent in our chat. And then I said, bro, without a full stop. You replied, bro, no full stop. I said, how do I find your review? ? You said, ratedaj.wordpress.com. And I said, sure, man.
Is Rated AJ still up?
AJ, do not look it up. Just continue with the quiz, and you will, and we might.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So, Richard, while not giving anything specific away, what did you unintentionally spoil for AJ just because he knows you so well?
Probably wouldn't have put this question in if I knew the Ted Lasso stuff was so fucking fiery hot.
When I saw this come through, I was like, "Ooh, the smarts."
That's so funny. Yeah, so it's got to be something that we both like, that he knew I liked, and that inferred that something happened in it because he knew I wanted that to happen or something. I'm going to say it was the... Is this something that you have explicitly told me that this is what happened, AJ?
I believe I've told you.
I think
Otherwise, I wouldn't have
I've
put
heard
it
this
on
story before as well.
Okay, I'm gonna say... this is really interesting.
This is killing me. God, answer the fucking
Okay,
question.
I'm gonna say the Good Place.
Nope. Wrong. AJ, what was it?
That was unspoiled for me. So I want to be delicate about this because I don't want to say what the spoilers were because I don't want people to get spoiled. So the day that The Last of Us 2 came out,
yes.
you didn't have work, so you got to play it before me. And obviously, very important game to both of us, or the first one was. And so, like, you were being very respectful with your messages to me. Like, you weren't telling me about it. We were just chatting about it because I had to go home at midday to play it. Or I was going to go home at midday to play it. And then you said, you should stop messaging me now. And from that, I was able to be like, well, he's probably said that because spoiler has happened. And I was
Interesting.
right. What I guessed was right.
Yeah.
Which I would say is just as, if not worse, than the Ted Lasso thing. The amount of vagueness involved feels like...
I didn't say
so
how I felt about it. It was that I now know enough about the plot that we shouldn't talk.
And I wish you didn't say that. I wish you'd just stop talking to me.
Well, I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
It didn't ruin it for me. It was still, but yeah, that's the answer.
It ruined the game for me. To be fair, my enjoyment of Last of Us 2 was probably more hampered than yours, if it makes you feel better. All right, last question.
Okay, AJ, Richard would like to ask you, please tell me as much as you can remember about the biography of you on Rated AJ.
Now there are specific things in here that you have to get correct to get the 1
so
point.
Richard has...
So
it's quite long, and Richard has said I can give you the hint that it's a quote followed by a short intro.
Well, so
you have to get the quote, and then there's 2 aspects of the intro that need to be talked about.
Oh, I don't remember the quote. Is Rated AJ, is this the first time we've mentioned it on the podcast? Do people know what we're talking about?
I didn't know about it.
This was like a proto cult Popture thing that I did when I was like 15 to 19 maybe, and it was just a WordPress where I wrote reviews. What was the quote? I don't remember. What did it say? Right. I reckon it probably mentioned that I was named after the guy from Full House.
No, on all aspects.
No? Wow. I'm not even going to explain it to people.
I can read it to you.
All right, please give us a dramatic reading.
I feel like these questions are so hard.
But no, like this is AJ. If you'd asked me this before yesterday, I fucking wouldn't have even known this website existed. You wrote this.
That's what
you wrote this.
When I wrote this 15 years ago.
Okay,
I don't remember what it's
rated AJ, and then it says below that this film is rated AJ, contains adult themes, mild coarse language, and may contain
traces of nuts.
Yes. That's not actually part of what I sent AJ. Oh, I've sent Jeremy, sorry.
Oh, that deserves a point. Come on.
In quotes, In quotation marks, you have Here I Am, Rock Me Like a Hurricane, which you have attributed to Gandhi. You then offer up, then you introduce yourself.
Funny
You're
stuff.
such an edgelord, AJ.
You introduce yourself. You say, my name is AJ/Alexander/Alex/Alexidus. And do you remember what the last one was?
Chewbacca?
Batman.
Oh.
Batman.
And then you said, you are a 21-year-old New Zealander who wishes he was older and was born in a different country. Well, AJ, you're older.
This sucks. This sucks. So, I remember starting it when I was about 15, 16. So I must have kept it going for longer than I thought.
The last thing you posted on it was a review of Battle of the Five Armies.
Right, so 21, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Last question of the quiz.
this has turned from me losing a quiz again to let's dig up the cringy bullshit that I thought was funny when I was a teenager.
When you were 21.
This is I've
Speaking of cringy bullshit that made AJ laugh, Richard, you've still got to answer AJ's last fight round question.
I know, I want to move on to it.
What was the first podcast AJ ever listened to?
The Rove podcast.
the what?
That was the first one.
Rove,
Rove
isn't like
McManus
the
had a
Australian
video podcast.
Oh, okay. Right, Rove. I think you said Road.
No.
I was like, what, like the boom mic company? I guess they would have a podcast.
No, like the podcast about the Viggo Mortensen movie.
No, okay.
Anyway, that's
No.
my legitimate guess.
AJ, do you want to let him know?
It was the Cracked podcast.
Oh,
Richard,
yes, of course
was
it
my
was,
first exposure to podcasts. I feel like I've got COVID.
COVID of the heart.
Yeah. And of the lungs and respiratory system.
All right, so is that the quiz then, Jeremy?
That is the very sad end of the quiz. But
It's
Jess,
not all bad. It's only sad for one of us.
Jess, tell us, how'd the points shake out after that last round where no one scored anything?
Jess, who looks like she's barely
I-
keeping it together.
I have never been more exhausted in my life.
Oh.
And that's just listening to me. That's actually what it's like living with me.
Yeah, so sort of as expected, it all shakes out. AJ, your final points are 8 points. Discord on a healthy 13, and Richard, 20 points. Woo, party.
Wow.
Well done.
God, he's so fucking proud of himself. He's gonna be.
Look at him.
He's absolutely shaking with pride right now. He's gonna be celebrating tonight.
I thought you said salivating, but yes, that too. Well,
That
thank
too.
you for having me yet again. It's always nice to be resurrected into the Cult Popture Fano Moost. Yes, I look forward to
Cool.
seeing you all again and excavating what is left of AJ's self-worth once more.
And if you enjoyed listening to this, then
Why?
we're no longer friends. But the least you could do is follow Cult Popture on Twitter and Instagram. You can also join our Discord, where you can find more ways to destroy my spirit every year. And if you want, you could give me money, which you probably should if you don't already. You probably owe it to me now. Over at patreon.com/cultpopture. We get a bunch of other bullshit you don't deserve, including being able to submit something for the post-credit scene, which is we just keep going because it's coming at you right after this music ends. Thank you for listening, everybody. I'm not really angry. It's all for the show. Please don't actually feel bad. And we'll see you next week for our Karate Kid episode.
Woo! Thank you so
Goodbye.
much to Jeremy and Jess for joining us once more. We love
And thank you again to
doing these quizzes.
the Discord members who literally literally sent through hundreds of questions. Congratulations to you.
You all
Nice
picked the
one.
worst one. All right, welcome along to the post-credits scene. This is a segment at the end of each episode where if you donate $5 or more over at patreon.com/Popture, you get to give us something to talk about in this, the post-credits scene. We've got all four of us here still.
Woo!
A very special honour for the person who sent in this question. Richard, who's it from and what is it?
Today's one comes to us from Dylan Hutton, and Dylan actually had another question immediately in line, but I've bumped that down. Sorry, Dylan, and I've pulled one of your other questions up to the top because I think this is a good one for all four of us. It's going to be good for the listeners. It's going to be good for all four of us. Dylan has said, give each other one piece of personal life advice.
So we each have to give 4 pieces of
No, I
life
think
advice?
we give
3
one,
pieces.
the other 3. So each of us is going to leave here with 3 pieces of new advice.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. Even
Okay.
one is hard.
I was giving someone advice today, and I thought in my head, damn, that should be like my go-to advice. One thing that I always like saying is never be good at anything you don't like doing.
Like podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm good at it, but I hate it.
Actually, the advice that I guess, you know, it depends what you call advice, but the thing that I always say to like people entering the working industry is that it's like, do not have loyalty to a company. If you died
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow, your job listing would be posted before your obituary.
Yeah, that's pretty similar to most of the advice I give these days, which is something along the lines of, like, do not give a shit about your job. But I'm going to go with, I think if you're struggling with someone in your life and you don't know what to do, you should always fall back on kindness and being sympathetic to trials or tribulations you may not know that person is going through. And in my life, I've learnt that if you keep your affection for someone there, eventually one of 2 things will happen. 1, they'll return that affection and see you as the good friend you've always been. Or 2, they'll disappear from your life and you won't even think about them.
Jeremy, as the oldest, do you have any pearls of wisdom?
I would say that your self-perception is not always right. That actually it's important to see yourself reflected in the people that you love and to get some of the way that you see yourself through them. I think so much of the time we always talk about sort of authenticity and like just, you know, the way that you feel is always the absolute truth. And actually, I think it's important to temper that with people that you trust and what they say about who you are or who you know, the person that you should be. Because often people who are closest to you can kind of call better things out of you than you would expect from yourself.
And Jess, to take us home.
And Jess, tie it all together, Jess. Bring all of this
God.
advice into one funnel.
Get a therapist. Destigmatize therapy. It is amazing.
Amen.
Like,
That's the
personal
best
growth
advice.
is the best thing you can do for yourself. Best money you'll ever spend.
Oh, and it's actually just so nice talking to someone who's just there to listen to you. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I do this podcast.
Oh, I
What
don't
a
pay
crazy
you, though.
ending to an episode. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
Just been
everybody.
so,
Thanks again to the
like,
Discord for sending the questions.
rat shit to each other.
Thanks to Jeremy and Jess for joining us once
Yeah.
again.